Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to make your dreams and desires a reality. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Big video for you today. I had such a powerful conversation with one of you yesterday. It was the first time we talked, although you've been on the channel now for months. And the story she told me was powerful. She said a friend of hers introduced her to the Be Something Wonderful channel, to the Be Something Wonderful content, at a time when she felt that nothing was working. She was exhausted, frustrated, confused, right? She felt trapped under her own weight of non-fulfillment, the weight of that nothing is changing, that my reality is crappy. And she even said that to her friend. She goes, I don't see how these manifesting channels and all this reality creation stuff can change my crappy life, right? And she said, well, and she even said, she goes, I think they're all full of crap. I think this reality creation stuff is crap. And her friend looked at her and goes, exactly, that's exactly why you believe you're living a crappy life. She goes, that's what Tom would say to you. And it is something I would say, right? If you think reality and everyone is full of crap, then that's going to be your life experience. And I get it. We get frustrated. We get confused. We get exhausted with things. So she began to watch the videos. 6 months of binge watching the videos. And for 4 months, she said nothing really seemed to move. But she goes, the idea that I know things are moving, that I know that I'm that new identity resonated with me. And this is what she said, wow, you were so right. I never felt more powerful than when I just gave upwards. She was exhausted, frustrated, confused. She wanted to give up. Just give up and say life's not going to change. But she watched the videos and she remembers a message where I talk about giving upwards. Don't give up. Give upwards. That you're never more powerful than when you're exhausted, frustrated, confused, and see no way that your reality is going to change. That's when everything changes. She said, that's when I said, I'm done. I'm done with that old reality. I'm done with that old identity. She goes, in that moment, nothing changed except I never felt so free and fulfilled than in that moment. And then, she woke up and she said, it appeared to be the same old reality. And it appeared to be that for 4 months. But she goes, I knew that I was making making my dreams and desires a reality because I said so. And so 4 months, right? 4 months later into that, she said things began to move. In other words, it felt like things were now unfolding. She started to talk to her specific person again, right? She started up looking for new opportunities, right? Wasn't going to stay at that same old job. And she started saving money so she could travel. And now, almost a year later, she's traveling. She's engaged to her specific person. She has a new job that she likes much more and that's much more fulfilling. It's more money, it's more fulfilling. Hear this, right? And here's what she said. This was powerful. It was all there the whole time. In other words, her dreams and desires were fulfilled. She was seeing a crappy life because she felt life was full of crap. She felt reality was full of crap. She felt the coaches and the reality creation techniques that it's all full of crap. She goes, I realized that I was just full of crap. And I think there was even a video where I talked about that idea with somebody else. It might have been a year ago. I think she mentioned it. It was all there the whole time. I couldn't see it until I decided to make it a reality. And she just stood in that knowing. This is a master class that she's presenting here, and I want to unpack this. So remember, and this is what she realized, you already are and already have everything, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you do not see it. You already are everything. You already have everything that you want. You already are everything that you want to be. As Neville Goddard would say, the only reason you do not see it is because you don't believe it. But what is belief? Belief is awareness. We believe what we're aware of. So it's about being aware that you are all of that. That's what she just decided. She didn't give up in resignation, although she wanted to. She gave upwards. She decided, I am that person no matter what the appearances are showing me, no matter what I'm thinking or feeling about it, right? And she goes, these are the type of questions that she referred to some videos where I talked about this. And she goes, I even asked these same questions. Well, if creation is finished and all my dreams and desires are fulfilled, and again, I corrected her, I said, well, since creation is finished, because it is, and I already have and am everything, if or since I am the one and only source in reality, then what's the point? Right? She found herself asking that too. What do I have to imagine, affirm, and create? Why do I have to imagine, affirm, and create anything if I'm all that is? If I already have it all? And the answer is always the same, and we've said it in many videos. She got this from her binging. To know yourself experientially as creation, as reality, as source, as God, as all that is. To create the physical unfolding of that experience that's already within you. That's why. And we're going to go on here. There's more, right? There's a version of you living your dream life here and now, or you wouldn't even be able to dream and desire it. This is another message that we talk about on the channel that resonated with her. There's only isness, existence, or reality. Non-existence doesn't exist. So if you desire it, if you dream it, it's done. The Father, Source, has given you and made you everything. The great I am. You're one with that great I am. You are the I am awareness. You are the son of that great pure awareness of that reality. That's really the story of the prodigal. We talked about this in some of my earlier videos. I do a big unpacking of the story of the prodigal son in many different ways. But the second son, the story of the two sons, right? The first son demanding his inheritance and then going off and squandering it. And the second son always staying with the father. But then when the second son returns and rises up to be that ideal, and the father throws him a party, the second son, why haven't you thrown me a party? I've always been with you. And what's the father say? Son, you're always with me, and all that I have is yours. It's always been yours. So in other words, what are you waiting for? Celebrate that. Feel the gratitude now, not like the second son who was waiting for his father to throw him a celebration, throw him a party. Good. Decide that it's yours now. This is powerful. Let's unpack this a little bit more. Like the older son, you're waiting for 3D reality to change and to feel different before you can celebrate and express gratitude and love for all that you have been given and all that you are. Waiting for a reason to feel that gratitude and love, to feel different, right? This whole idea that we feel that if we're not feeling a certain way, then we're not going to have what we want. We can't manifest and create our ideal life. Right? You're waiting to feel a certain way, or those shifting thoughts and feelings. Remember, you underneath all of that is the love and gratitude of who you are. Right? Stop waiting for reality to change. Stop waiting to feel different. Stop trying to control and manipulate your thoughts and feelings. And assume, affirm, declare that you are that person you desire to be. Right? One of you yesterday that I talked with in a session pointed to the Disney show. I haven't watched this, but I did watch the clip that he mentioned, so I could talk to you about this. It's called Sweet Life on Deck. It's kind of a fun, goofy little show. It's cool on Disney, and And the genie grants wishes to each of these characters. It's kind of a fun little Disney show, right? And there's a rich girl. There's a girl that has everything. So they go through and grant wishes to the others. And there's a girl that has everything. And when it's her turn, she says, all I wish for is everything, right, to the genie. And then the genie goes, poof, right? And she goes, well, I don't feel any different. and that's what she says, just like that scene in The Chosen, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And her friend goes, that's because you already have everything. Do you see it? She didn't feel any different because she already was everything. You already have everything. Stop waiting to feel different and know that you already have everything. I love that. I love that this person I spoke to gave me this scene, because I think it's a powerful scene in this little show, the Disney show. Right? It's supposed to be fun and for laughs, but it's a powerful message. Right? All I wish for is everything. This is the girl that has everything. Right? But I don't feel any different because you already have everything. Do you see it? It's like that scene from The Chosen. Right? When Jesus, your I am awareness, is going to send his apostles out 2 by 2 to do miracles and wonders. Works and wonders. And the apostles are looking at each other like, how are we going to do that? And one of them says, I don't feel any different. And Jesus says, your I am awareness says, I don't need you to feel anything to do great things. In other words, I don't need you to feel anything to make your dreams and desires a reality. So yes, creation's finished. God, or that greater reality within you, has given you everything because you are everything. You were made in God's image. So you were made as everything. God guaranteed that you have everything and that you are everything because he made you everything, or God made you everything. You are that reality. But remember, you are ultimate reality. But to make it a reality, but for you to experience it, for you to know yourself experientially, you've got to make that a reality for yourself. Because you're already all that is, but you're the one that makes your dreams and desires a reality. They're yours. Son, you've always been with me, and all that is mine is yours, as the Father said in the prodigal. But you've got to claim it. You've got to assume it. You've got to affirm it. You've got to imagine it and know it. Be aware that it's already yours. Do you see this? This is powerful. And like the younger son, it's the story of the 2 sons. It was said that the younger son demanded his inheritance, right? Demanded his portion of all that is. And the father gladly gave it to him because he already has it, right? But then he went and squandered it. It said on loose living. That's what we do. We've already been given it, but we're squandering it. Seeking for fulfillment in the conditions, seeking for fulfillment in the manifested reality that appears to be out there. You're squandering and wasting that inheritance that's already yours, your I am awareness, right? By seeking your fulfillment out there where you can never find it. Instead, be source. Remember yourself as source of it, not the seeker. That's the lesson of the first son. Right? It said that he went to a far-off land and squandered his wealth. The far-off land is when we don't feel connected to all that we are. We feel separate or limited from that power within. And then we squander and waste our birthright, our inheritance, as that one and only reality. You make your dreams and desires a reality. How? By recognizing, by realizing, by being aware that I am reality, that you are reality, that I am reality, I am source. I need only to imagine and assume and affirm it and know that it is unfolding. Just like this person I talked with, this creator yesterday. Right? For 4 months, she said it appeared like, even though she reached that point of exhaustion, she stayed in that knowing that she's done with that old identity no matter what. No matter what appears to be moving or not moving in 3D reality. Because she knows that she is 3D reality. And then, of course, It must conform. It must coalesce around who you're being. Right? 3D reality has no free will of its own. Right? You create it, you project it, you reflect it from within you. By being source and not the seeker of that dream life and dream identity that you always wanted to have and be. That's how. Right? By being the source and not the seeker of that dream life, of that dream identity that you've always wanted to be. Right? Instead of demanding, like the first son, I demand my inheritance. Give me all that I'm entitled to. And then squandering it and wasting it, looking for, not realizing that you're already fulfilled and looking for fulfillment out there, right? Squandering your awareness that you're already all that is, or waiting for your 3D manifested experiences to be different, like the second son, waiting for the father to throw you a party, right? To welcome you home, right? Waiting for the experience to be different. Instead of all that, assume, affirm, and imagine and claim that it already is, regardless of the temporary changing conditions. Read the verse and read the metaphysical lesson of the prodigal son, the two sons. You'll really like it. I've done many videos on that, so you can look those up. But this is just to touch on that today because she touched on it, right? It's already yours regardless of what's going on out there. Assume it anyway. Imagine it anyway. A 2 to 3 second scene of your imagined end. Who you would be with that, who you are in that new life. Right? Assume that if you can't imagine it and visualize it. Claim it anyway. Right? This is powerful. And then there's the story of the two sons in Genesis, Esau and Jacob. Esau in Genesis 25:30, he felt exhausted, weary, and famished, right? If you remember that he negotiated his birthright. Esau is the first son, right? The firstborn. Jacob is the second son, the secondborn. Again, the story of the firstborn and the secondborn, right? The born again, right? Firstborn, the physical birth. And then the second son, being born again. Imagine being born again into your new identity or your new life or your wish fulfilled. But just like Esau, you feel exhausted. You feel weary. You feel famished. You feel like you're trying to make your dreams and desires a reality. And you'll do anything to see movement and 3D reality. To see a text message or money coming in or improved health or a sign that new job's there. Right? Anything, any sign that reality is moving, you will sell your birthright. Like Esau, right? Esau was exhausted, famished, hungry. And notice that Jacob, the second son, was eating porridge or some stew. And said, give me your stew. Give me some of that stew. And Jacob says, well, sell me your birthright. Esau was ready just to sell that birthright to Jacob. Your God-given gift and right to claim, declare, assume, and affirm and live your dream life and your desire and identity right now. Right here in Genesis 25:31. Please let me have a swallow of that red stuff there, for I'm famished. This is Esau to Jacob. When we feel like we're just exhausted, we're famished, we're starving for results in 3D reality that appears to be outside of us. We want to be fed by circumstances out there, right? As opposed to knowing that spiritual substance, everything you could ever want, that fulfillment's already within you. But we're famished when we have the awareness that it's not. When we assume that it's out there, when we assume we're unfulfilled, when we assume that our dreams and desires are dead or far off. And we'll do anything to feel better, right? We take actions, we do things, we ignore things, or we try to stay away from certain things to feel better. Instead of to know that you already are better. So this is Esau going, yeah, let me have some of it, let me have a swallow, just something. A swallow, a little bit of something because I'm famished. I need something. Wow, that's powerful. right? So what does Jacob say, the second son? Well, first, sell me your birthright. Esau, remember, as the older son, the firstborn, the physical 3D birth. That you, in your physical experience, have that God-given right. You don't have to negotiate it. You don't have to sell out to live the life of your dreams. You merely just got to claim it. Now, Jacob represents the second son, which is all, remember, you play all the parts, which is you claiming that new dream life. It's you saying, I am who I say I am, right? So you have the power and authority and the divine right to create and manifest your dream life, to make your dreams and desires a reality, but only to the extent that you die, hear this, to the old one, which is no longer your preference. That's the idea here, right? You never have more power and authority to shift realities and identities, and instantly and totally in that moment, than in that moment. Instantly and totally in that moment. You never have more power and authority to shift realities and identities instantly and totally than in that moment. In that moment when you feel most vulnerable, in that moment when you feel most weak, when you feel most famished, when you feel most unfulfilled and desperate, when you feel like you are about to die and that the unwanted circumstances are killing you. Hear this, right? This is what this particular person felt like. That she was dying under the weight of those apparent circumstances, unwanted circumstances, feeling like they're ready to die. But what's the metaphysical message? Yes, you are ready to die, but die to the old you. Do you see it? At that moment, that's when everything's changing. That death is the death of the old you. It's not that you're just giving up and you're resigning and saying, I'm just dead, my dreams are dead. It's saying the old you is dead. The old identity is dead. You're now rising up, being reborn. That's the whole message of being reborn, or resurrecting your dreams into that new reality. That's the message here as well. Stop negotiating, trying to negotiate reality and create it. Right? This is the whole message with Esau and Jacob. Jacob negotiating with Esau for the birthright. When you can just claim it. When you can just declare that you are it. Right? You feel like you're about to die, right? And this is shown here in Genesis. This is what Esau says to Jacob when he says, hey, sell me your birthright. Look, I'm about to die, so what is this birthright to me? This is what we feel like. What's the use of affirming, of imagining, and assuming my wish fulfilled? What's the point if creation is finished and I'm dying here in these unwanted negative conditions? That's what we feel like. That's what we feel like we want to give up in resignation versus giving upwards in resurrection, in resurrecting your dream, being born again into that new identity, stepping into your dreams and desires. So yes, you're about to die, but die to the old you, right? So that's why that birthright is yours. It's yours by your divine right. That's powerful. So it feels like it's time to give up in resignation, but it's actually the death of the old you, the old reality, the old script, the old film roll, right? The old parallel alternative reality identity that's no longer your preference. Wow, that's the powerful message of Esau and Jacob, right? It always feels like you're about to die, but that exhaustion, that frustration, that point where it seems like nothing is changing is actually you're never more powerful than in that moment. That's what happened here. Let's see if I can get to that. She never felt more powerful than when she just gave upwards, right? Where she felt like she was about to die in resignation, she was actually dying to that old identity. Exhausted, frustrated, confused. That's when I said, I'm done. I've never felt more free, fulfilled than in that moment. Yes, because you're now born into that new identity, into that new reality, regardless of what the circumstances and conditions around you are showing. Right? She said it here. It was all there the whole time. I couldn't see it until I decided to make it a reality. So yes, creation's finished. It's all yours. But you're the one and only source and creator of your reality. You're the only one that makes your dreams and desires a reality. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/BeSomethingWonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and at TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, and for being part of our membership channel. We have another live stream that we're going to announce shortly that's exclusively going to be aired on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. We're in a live event that I answer your questions in a live stream that you're sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. Send your questions and the topics that matter to you to info@besomethingwonderful.com. I'll also answer your questions live on the chat. This is exclusively on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. If you're a member, join us. If you're not a member, check out the link below. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.